Welcome to Dr. Ask 24 News YouTube channel.
Today's topic is about resume. How to build a resume. Resume building is very important part in your career. When you frame your career, for example, somebody is getting into completing their engineering or completing their graduation, they are entering into their job. See, there are lot of things which comes to the minds of a fresher to how to build up a resume, whether it is needed, whether it is not needed and all. So how do you conclude, how do you take up this chance like yes, I have built my resume in a perfect way. So that is what we are about to guide you here. Resume building plays a vital role. Once again I tell you, like it is like introducing someone, like you are about to introduce yourself to someone with a visiting card. This visiting card introduction may be useful or helpful when you have a very good profile, or you are an experienced person, or you are going to introduce yourself to the candidate. But it does not works in the same way for a fresher when he introduces himself to an interviewer. So this is how your visiting card or the face value which transfers from interviewee to the interviewer. So that's how the importance of resume we are going to talk about. Now, first of all, see, there are a lot of universal formats which is available in your net or Google or wherever you can surf and you can get it. But whether the interviewer is going to see your resume completely and he is going to evaluate all those things, no, not at all. So because the interviewer is not the first time seeing an resume, or you are not the first candidate whom he is going to see. So in that point, when he sees your resume, he should get attracted towards it, or he should feel that this candidate is going to be a potential candidate and I am going to call him for a recruitment. So that is how the process of resume comes into the picture. Now, how do you frame a resume? See, resume, the first and foremost thing which you talk about is name. See, there are a lot of confusion when they talk about the resume. People talk about like when you have like your name with a certificate. I mean, based on the certificate, people will have the names and they will be going beyond. But my kind suggestion goes like this. Whenever you want to, talk about the name should be like this. Name with addition of your surname. For example, my name is Arvind and my surname, my father name is Mani. I could put my name like this, Arvind Mani. So that will be more fine than your normal. For example, instead of that I am putting in my name Arvind, and then you want to go with the initial like M. It may not work out much, because for example, you are sending your resume to a foreign interviewer, or you are sending to a foreign company. See, what is given in your passport and what is given in your resume should match, and obviously you will not, that should be identical. So whenever you want to frame your name in a resume, you go ahead with your name with surname. That is my kind suggestion, and it's up to you. What are the, like there are lengthy names and you plan according to your resume. Next one is, most important thing is mail ID. See, email, people take it very lightly. When they create a mail ID, they go with a lot of fantastic names. You know, for example, they name it, they have a lot of heroistic name which they frame. Whether the interviewer is really going to like it? No, not at all. I will tell you the truth. He will not like that, that sort of names or email IDs. Obviously, make it as professional, make it as formal. See, again, coming to the context. See, if I am going to have a mail ID, and my mail ID, I am having my own name like Arvind. Arvind is having like Arnold Arvind or Arnold Schwarzenegger Arvind, something like that which I add, or Avengers Arvind. So this may be look so fantastic, and obviously this resume, interviewer is not going to like it. So whenever you frame your email ID, let it be very formal, let it be very professional, and most important thing is like he or she should able to remember it very quickly. See, somebody is writing, for example, mail your or mail at. You add something that will be in a sentence formation, or else it will be meaningful that he could remember it very easily. Mail at Arvind, or mail your Arvind, something like that. So that will be more easy. See, nowadays we don't get same sort of names which we like, but you can add some 1 or 2 numbers, not much numbers. You cannot add more 3, 4, 5 numbers like that. You cannot add your whole birth date or cell phone number, something like that. That will be looking very, very devastated. Okay, so avoid those things, and most important thing, don't add any sort of sign or symbol in your mail ID, because there are a lot of chances when a mail ID is being forwarded, or somebody is going to send you a mail. Obviously there are a lot of chances they may forget their sign or symbol. For example, you are introducing a dollar sign or at symbol or a dot or a underscore, something like try to avoid wholesome of this type of symbols. Next, coming to the mobile number, and be sure that when you mention a mobile number, this mobile number should be reachable at any time. There are very less chances the interviewer is going to call you by mobile. There are a lot of chances when they try to contact through the mail, because that is the professional way when they contact to someone. So you give most important, you give the importance to email ID rather than phone number. Okay. Next one, career objective. This has lot of problem when you frame a career objective. People believe that, okay, I am going to, you can see if you go through the lot of resume and you can see the same career objective has been put in different profile. It is not like that. See, for example, somebody is going to somebody is going to post their resume for an teaching job. This may not apply, the career objective may not apply the same to a teaching profession to some other profession, or else somebody is going to be going for an HR interview, or somebody is going to as a technical interview. This career objective should be changed according to, see, I am not going to give you any idea on the career objective, because the career objective should be very unique. That is how the framing of resume itself has a greater weightage. See, when you have an unique sort of your own words, putting your own skills, sort of skill sets, and you are producing your own career objective, that will be more effective when an interviewer goes through it. Next one is education qualification. That is most as a fresher. See, all I am talking about the freshers angle, whereas you have been a graduate or a BE candidate who is coming out of his institution and you are applying for a on-campus or off-campus job, and how you are going to, so in that angle, when you see, the education qualification plays a vital role. Not all the companies, they go ahead with the same sort of things. See, sometimes you may get very, you have got very less number of marks in that. So if you don't want to show your mark performance in that, don't show it. You can go for, nowadays they have gone for CGPA and all, and if you have a better CGPA you can show, otherwise you let it be, like you can put like first class, second class, third class, that's more than enough. See, education qualification, this basic detail should be fulfilled. Year of, what is the qualification, like SSLC or HSC or a degree, and number of institutions, the institutions which you have traveled across, where you did your schoolings, 10th, 12th, and even then you go for a degree. And next one is month, year passing. If needed, you can add, otherwise you can skip, nothing wrong in that. The next one is most important, this percentage which we have been talking about. And next one, see, when it comes to an academic performance, we as a fresher, you don't have much to talk, so this academic performance will talk. When you go for next level, and if you are an engineering graduate or any other commerce background people, you will be having a project. You talk a little brief about your project, whereas you can show the project details, you can show the title and what sort of results it has come across. Okay, and if possible, you can mention the number of months or number of days you have gone for the projects. And you believe me or not, the people talk much about the project because the interviewer believes that that's where you got your exposure level. So other than the talking about your academic performance, this project will talk a lot about. For example, you are coming from a mechanical background and you can talk about your projects. For example, you have done your projects in HVAC, this heat, ventilation and all. And if you have the strong basic knowledge about your project, you go ahead with that, and the interviewer will get really admired about it. Okay. And if you are coming from some commerce, or you are going with the commerce, you may be framing the questionnaire, or you may be getting the respondents from that, and what way you have done your research, or what way you have done your project. In that way you can mention and you can show it. This will have a greater weightage when you compare to the academic performance, and this will show when they cross check you or when they cross question you, they will definitely find it out whether you have done it by your own or not, and by that they can decide whether you are going to be having a very good knowledge or not based on your basics of your education. Next one is area of interest. See, normally people put a area of interest. It is, you have to show some evidence based on this area of interest. See, area of interest here, so for example, they have put software engineering. See, he may be coming from a B.Tech or computer science background. So that will be matching, or you will be justifying that I am interested in that background. See, for example, you have shown something in the your graduation talks about your mechanical engineer, and here you show about the software engineering. It is totally wrong. So when you frame these things, you try to make understand. And key set of skills. See, this is very lame, I tell you. People never go through these skills. They can see, an interviewer needs just 2 minutes to evaluate you. how much you impress within these 2 minutes, that is how it is going to talk about. See, in key skills you may be talking about your written skills or verbal skills or other skills. Instead of showing in words, you can show it in a different level. For example, again coming to the context, when you have been doing your graduation, you might come across with a lot of event, or you might come across symposiums and all. So in that, what sort of quality role you have played, and that was your role, and what are the learnings you have had. So this, if you show in your resume, that will be more accountable than showing this type of things like I possess decision making skills and all. See, decision making skills, you cannot tell someone like I have a very good decision making skills. It needs lot of experience to go ahead with that. So obviously anybody, if you are mentioning decision making skills or communication skills, it is not going to be so true. So what I talk is, you talk, you post, or you try to enhance yourself, show something that you had some idea about it. So that's how I am going to talk about. Next one is key skills. Next slide please. As we have been talking about the soft skills or the soft skills area, next one is technical skills. See, technical skills is very important when you build up in your resume. See, there are certain candidates, there are the very good candidates who are really interested to go with the different sort of technical skills. He may be from a mechanical background, but he may be very much fond of some other soft skills also, some other software skills also. Now he is talking about, now don't use this type of things, whereas you know how to use the package of MS Office or 7, 10, 12 and all. Nobody needs that. And what sort of software you know, for example, and whenever you mention some software, for example, you are a commerce graduate and you are very well, you had done your diploma in Tally, that you can mention, and try to be sure that when you mention that, that is one updated one or the futuristic one. Don't update something which is very old one. For example, Tally 2.0 is little older than when the version of Tally 7.0 or Tally 8.0, and when you mention it in a very crisp manner. Next one is, if you talk about the software, here they have mentioned about C, C++, Java and all, and now the things goes like PHP and Python sort of things, and you try to mention something which is very recent and which is very new in your resume. And area of interest, see, people may mention like extracurricular activities or any other activities which you really like to. For example, you may be a national player, you may be a state player, or you may be a zonal player sort of things, and you want to show it in your resume. And be sure whenever you show, and these testimonials you can add it, because there are certain companies which really want their employees who are very good players and all, and they select on that basis also. See, now whenever you use your extracurricular activities and all, try to mention both these sort of games like indoor and outdoor. Don't mention only indoor. For example, you are a very good carom player or you are a very good chess player. Even though you are a state player or a national player, you try to add some outdoor games also. For example, you are fond of cricket or something like that. And there are some of other issues, some of other things which they add and which they like most. For example, people add like reading books, people add like I am fond of watching music channel or fond of watching this. They don't entertain at all. See, that is not needed for any interviewer, and it is not a professional way to convey your talents. Next one is the personal information which you share with your interviewer should be very less. Don't give a huge detail about, for example, here name, father's name. See, already when you have mentioned your name, surname in your title of the page, that's more than enough. No need to mention it again and again. Next, father, mother. And when you face an interview, you should be very conscious, you should be very clear about what you have been talking about. Any new vocabulary which you are adding in your resume may have a weightage. So you try to be very clear when you use some sort of vocabularies, new vocabularies. You should be very clear about the meaning, or you should be well versed in the meaning also. So take care of that. And gender, probably that is not needed. One point which I want to add in the previous slide is like about the passport photo which you attach. See, photo, if you want to attach, you can attach, and most probably you try to attach only the recent photo, that to color photo if not needed. Sometimes the company may demand you to attach the photo, that time you can demand, otherwise it is not needed. And there are some professional areas where they give lot of importance to the photographs. For example, you are going for any hospitality industries, for example tourism, or you go as an air hostess, or you apply to any air industry sort of thing. There they may be expecting the photograph, so that time you can add, otherwise it is not needed. And next, like most important thing is we talk about the declaration. The declaration is just like you are giving a promise, or you are conveying an information to that interviewer that all the information which you have given is true. So here when you use something, you sign, you give your signature, you try to give the signature with these salutations like yours truly. Don't go for yours faithfully, or and obviously you should not use yours lovingly. And being a professional way, I have seen a lot of resumes which come across with yours faithfully, yours faithfully. I don't think so that is the right word to go with the yours faithfully. You can go for yours truly, because to the truth of both the mind's knowledge, you are conveying the information. That's more than enough. And place, date, and make sure whenever you give your resume, this should be the date should be on the recent date, not you are sending. See, already you might have a copies, 100 number of copies for posting. Don't give the same. Every time you have to sign newly, and every time you put the recent date and send it. That is the most important part. Hope I have covered the whole areas of the resume. If you have any queries regarding the building up of resume, see, one more thing I want to remind you. I am talking a whole resume has been the resume build up we have been spoken about is about a freshers angle. There are several other areas which we can concentrate. People have lot of differences between biodata, resume, and curriculum vitae. All those they have their own different meaning, and it has been framed in a different way. I have not spoken about the experienced resume. I have spoken only about the freshers resume. So if you want me about the experienced candidate, you can just text me through the comment box. We can discuss about that also. Thank you for this session.
If you like my videos, subscribe my channel and share with your friends, and also getting more videos from my channel, to press bell button.